Hey guys, Kevin Cleary here with a little discussion video about what's going on with YouTube and, my thoughts on that and maybe what some people may do about it and certainly what I'm going to do about it, which is not much, but there is one key thing. Okay, so first off, let me say, here's what's happening. A number of channels have gotten demonetized, have gotten, let's say, less traffic. YouTube has deprioritized their videos, which by the way goes right along with demonetization, because if YouTube can't make money on your videos, of course they're not incentivized to promote them. The reason that has happened is because some advertisers claimed, and I'm really suspicious about all of this, but some advertisers have claimed that they saw their ad along with offensive content. Now, the reason I'm suspicious about this is, number one, there's not that much offensive content on YouTube to begin with. Number two, the definition of offensive these days is almost meaningless, right? Someone could be offended by this video because all of these pens happen to have black ink, okay? Like, it's insane, the nonsense that social justice warriors have brought up and found ways and reasons to be offended over. So those are the two things that make me a little doubtful about the claims that advertisers are making. Ultimately, though it doesn't matter because the advertising dollars are down. So YouTube has to, number one, save money, and number two, they have to somehow get some advertising dollars back. And what they've done to achieve that is to demonetize a bunch of videos so that anything they think could possibly hint at being offensive or could upset anyone is going to be demonetized. Now, YouTube has said that's an overreaction and it's not going to stay that way, but I doubt, moving forward, things will be back to normal. I don't think they're ever going to be back to the way they were, unless YouTube has enough sense to bring in advertisers that are more sensible to their content. Okay, so, Cold Steel and Riyadh and Brian Ty and Friends and Microtech Knives, those guys don't advertise on YouTube, but they would obviously work well with this video. So that's just one example of guys, and gun channels. What would stop Smith & Wesson or Ruger or whoever else, Winchester, from advertising on a Nut and Fancy video or a Late Boy Scout video, right? That seems to make perfect sense, but right now it's not happening because YouTube doesn't seem to like those advertisers. So that's something that could change and could improve the situation. Now, let's get into what happens to a channel when you're demonetized. Well, if you're a big channel and you get thousands of dollars coming in and that dries up overnight, that's going to suck, okay? No question. Even if you're not using that money to keep a roof over your head. Maybe it's just all going back into the channel, or maybe it's just, sort of mad money that you set aside for more gear, more guns, more knives, whatever. Even if it's not affecting your day-to-day living, it's still going to suck and it's still going to be a hit to your channel and limit your ability to create content to some extent. But there's another thing outside of the financial side. Your videos are not going to get as much traffic because YouTube will not prioritize them to the same extent, right? They want people to watch monetized videos because that's how they make more money. So your videos will not be as important, okay? There's no incentive for YouTube to promote your videos if they're not monetized. And by the way, I went for a long time without being monetized, and when I started monetizing my videos, which I did because, I thought through all this, you would not believe the difference that it made. Like immediately, from not being monetized to being monetized, literally overnight, my channel, my videos were, in the sidebar on YouTube all over the place compared to just the days or weeks leading up to when I started monetizing them. The other part of this is, what about alternate sources of funding? And the alternate sources of funding are, separate advertisers where, let's say someone comes to my channel who's making knives and they say, hey, we'll pay you to feature our products on your channel. Sure, that could happen. Now that can recover some of the funds, but your videos not being prioritized on YouTube, that doesn't go away. So it becomes, now the potential sponsor has less motivation to fund your video because it's not getting as much traffic. Now there will still be guys who get lots of traffic. So that's a possibility. Of course, there are also the crowdfunding, and a lot of people are turning to Patreon, and that's a great platform, and I know it works well for a lot of channels, but I don't think it'll work for everybody, okay? It's just not I imagine myself as a viewer thinking like, how many channels could I support? I would probably be willing to pay 10, 15 bucks a month through, like, pay that out through Patreon, but that would be about it. And at $1 a piece, that's like 10 to 15 channels. Well, I'm subscribed to way more channels than that. And so it's not possible for me or likely any viewer to support all the channels they like. Now, I know they could pick their top 3 or whatever, but it does definitely become a challenge along those lines, just what we're asking viewers to do if we go that route. By the way, I have had some people supporting me on Patreon, and that's really great. Thank you so much for doing that. I don't do a lot with Patreon, but if more supporters come in, I will definitely step up the Patreon side of the channel. Right now, I don't do a lot with it other than, if I'm going to have a sale, I usually let the Patreon people know the day before or even 2 days before. And so sometimes the knife is gone before I ever have a sale video because someone on Patreon was like, hey, I'll take that. And they bought it before the broader audience. So that's about the only thing I'm doing with Patreon right now. Now, let's come back and point out that overall, YouTube knife channels have not been that hard hit. Most of the ones I've talked to, their videos are still monetized. They're still getting, their videos recommended by YouTube. However, there is, most people are pointing to a bit of a decrease. There's a bit of a slump. Now, part of that slump is a yearly thing. About this time of year, everybody slows down a little and things will pick up again in a short time. But that's something to be aware of. So now let's think about what will happen, number 1, moving forward for YouTube, and number 2, moving forward for channels like mine. Well, I suspect YouTube will make some changes in the future. So most of the channels you see demonetized will probably get something back. They won't remain totally demonetized. Number 2, channels like mine, and this is one of the things I'm going to do, guys. I am going to set up a Facebook page. So that will be in the next couple days, and I will make sure I tell you guys about it, not only in this video, but in subsequent videos, and I'll put links in the description box to that Facebook page. The idea being that if, somehow YouTube goes away, or if my videos are severely limited, or they all get taken down or something crazy like that, I'll at least have a way to tell you guys, hey, this is what's happening, and I could even, Facebook has a video feature as well, so I could put up some videos there as well. So I will be putting that together shortly, and it'll just be a fun knife discussion page. That's all it's going to be, and it'll just be a supplement to the channel. It'll just be a fun place for viewers to kind of go and discuss things and share deals and whatever else. I don't think we're going to do any sales there, guys. So if you're looking for that, I don't think we're going to go that route, but it is going to be there in the very near future, just so I have ways to connect with you guys other than YouTube. The next thing I would say is, don't begrudge YouTube creators for bringing in sponsors or for asking for support on Patreon or various things, because some of these people, the lack of funding now really is going to hurt them, and they're going to need some kind of extra. I'm not really in that boat yet because I'm not that big, okay? The reality is, if I made 150 bucks a month from AdSense, that was a good month. I think my best ever was like a little over 200 bucks. So I'm not out anything substantial, right? Where someone who's bringing in thousands of dollars, sure, they're taking a bigger hit. The other thing I would say to you guys is go ahead and like and share and subscribe and promote the creators that you like, because that says to YouTube, hey, this is a video I'm interested in, and a lot of others are as well. So don't demonetize it. Don't get rid of this channel. We really like this content. So, I, for one, have gone to channels that I wasn't subscribed to before, but I kind of like them and I do watch their videos, and I've subscribed where before I would just kind of watch. So I think, if you're watching this, go find some of those other knife channels that maybe you only watch a couple videos a month or whatever, and they're not your favorite channels. Well, go find them and subscribe to them and share their videos, just to make a statement to YouTube that, hey, we're a community who supports one another, and we don't want to see this kind of content go away. All right, now the last thing I want to say is I hope some new blood will come in, right? And this is probably something that is, been ongoing. You know, YouTube, I mean, at least the claim has been that YouTube has not been interested in working with advertisers that are like gun manufacturers, knife manufacturers, stuff like that. Hopefully that will change, because that seems like a marriage made in heaven, right? To put a Winchester or Ruger or Remington ad on a Nut and Fancy video or a late Boy Scout video seems like a perfect combination, and it's weird that hasn't happened yet, so maybe that will be something for the future. Lastly, if you're still watching this, I'm really excited about the full-size Bodega Steelcraft from Todd Bag Knives. Go and check those out, and hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on one and bring it to you soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on this channel, and we will talk to you soon.